Boston X79, guys. Today I'm coming to you with my latest ban list prediction video. Okay, guys, the next ban list update is not going to be sooner than July 1st, 2019. That's actually a week from today. All right, so exciting. All right. In this particular case, I know we have the European World Championship qualifier this weekend, and I think there might be some other tournaments that might be going on as well. So I got a feeling TCG Konami specifically, is going to probably maybe not give us the next week, but maybe the week after. I'm thinking the week of the 8th forward will probably be when we're going to see the ban list drop. I'm not expecting it that this week of July 1st. All right. As for the state of the game is in this insanely good spot. Attendance at all events is up. I know North American World Championship qualifier was like one player shy of getting to 2100. I know it's not record breaking, but still that's actually a lot of great players who were invited to that tournament to compete. I mean, that's awesome. As for the meta itself, the top tier decks, there's 4 top tier decks: Sky Strikers, Danger Orcus, Danger Thunder Dragon, and as well as Salamangreat. Excuse me there. All right. In my opinion, these decks are going to be getting the most top cuts at any event you're going to be going to. And not only that, but any of these decks can take down the championship. So it's really a player skill based meta now. All right. I know there's some sprinkling of other rogue tier stuff and tier 1 decks surrounding the top 4, but it's typically in the top 4 that you can be usually seeing in the finals. I mean, if you look at the North American World Championship qualifier championship match, it was between Sky Striker and Danger Thunder, with Danger Thunder taking the match. Okay. With that being said, this list itself, I'm not seeing it as a big apocalyptic list. Primarily because Konami does have a lot of cards that are in the top tier decks that are getting reprinted in both Battles of Legend as well as the Megatons this year, and I don't think Konami is really going to turn around and hurt the sales of those products, especially since there's a lot of hype surrounding them right now. All right? With that being said, I feel that this list is going to be another tune-up list, with the more apocalyptic list coming in September. All right. With that being said, I'm going to get into my hits. We're going to start with the bans. First and foremost, Nightmare Mermaid. All right. Now, this card is actually going to be banned in the OCG on July 1st. All right. And I really do not see a reason why this card here in the TCG shouldn't share the same fate. It's the key linchpin card to the Orcus combo. And I got a feeling, I think this is a bit of an indirect hit that can really help push Orcus to evolve, to find something else, to really turn around and see how the deck goes. I know it might be weird, but it is plausible. All right. The next thing is RedEyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Danger Thunder Dragons typically like to run the Guard Dragon engine in the deck. This card is the key extender for the deck, constantly coming back into the field, getting more cards onto the field so you can link them off and just do a whole bunch of really unfair stuff. The card RedEyes Darkness Metal Dragon was never really intended to be this, to be like that, used like this. So I have a feeling it's just going to be one of those cards that's collateral damage thanks to the Guard Dragon engine. I don't see the Guard Dragons really picking up hits, primarily because if you hit maybe one of them, it's not going to really damage the engine enough. You really have to take out 2 of the Guard Dragons to really destroy the engine. And to me, I just don't see that as a very effective option right now. Get rid of RedEyes Darkness Metal Dragon. That's the best way to do it. And then for September, we'll deal with the Guard Dragons. All right. Next card that's going to get banned, Metaverse. Now, the primary reason why I have Metaverse getting banned is because this card, and using in conjunction with Mystic Mime and being able to activate Mystic Mime during your opponent's turn is way too reminiscent of what happened last format here in the TCG with the Phantom Knight rank up magic launcher turning a Dark Attribute Exceeds monster into Outer Entity Azathoth. In my opinion, it's just the same situation, just with different cards. Mystic Mine is way too new of a card to actually get a hit. I know they semi-limited over in OCG and they limited Metaverse, but the primary reason why they limited Metaverse is because Terraforming is also at 1 and so is set rotation. So I'm guessing they want to keep the field searchers to minimum instead of banning them. But over here in the TCG, we still have 2 Terraforming. So in my opinion, I much rather get rid of Metaverse completely. Mystic Mine really loses its oppressiveness, primarily because when you think about it, Mystic Mine only really works in your favor when you have fewer monsters than your opponents. And since you have to combo off and establish a field and then drop Mystic Mine, your opponent can either match the number of monsters just to pop the Mystic Mine field spell, or they can just turn around and run a deck where they can just drop one monster and just be able to do things. I mean, there are ways around it to work in their advantage. So, Metaverse to 0, definitely something that's going to happen. All right. For limits, I'm putting Saruja Skulldread to 1. In my opinion, this card should have went to 1 on the last ban list, but it wasn't. Kind of a mistake in my point. Basically, being able to get those, draw 4 cards and then place 3 cards from your hand back to the bottom of your deck just seems to be very unfair, especially when you be able to do it multiple times across a combo string. Yeah, no, this card needs to go down to 1. I mean, it's also extender, getting you another monster onto the field. So, yeah, it needs to be to 1. All right. I'm putting Thunder Dragon Colossus to 1 primarily. Yes, it was limited on the upcoming July 1st OCG list. I can see it sharing the same fate as well. I know Danger Thunders run anywhere from 1 to 2 copies. Most of the players that I know like to run 2 because they use the second copy as more of an extender into rank 8 plays, and then they have the other one for a Floodgate. In my opinion, putting this card to 1 basically forces Thunder Dragon players to basically say, hey, it's either going to be a Floodgate or it's going to be a rank 8 extender. It's your choice, but you're not getting both. I mean, I think that's kind of fair. And besides with, I know this kind of hurts pure Thunder Dragons a lot more than Danger Thunder, but we gotta start somewhere, and putting this guy at 1 seems to be the best idea. Coming back down to 1, that Grassless Screener. I mean, this card is actually semi-limited in the OCG, and I can actually see this card being a very good toolbox card for grave-centric decks. I'm not saying let's put it to 3. I'm actually saying let's put it back to 1. Let's see how it affects the meta. See if it opens up some more strategies to really push certain decks forward. All right, if it becomes a problematic card, we can always reban it. It's not like we haven't. TCG Konami hasn't done that before. I mean, look at what happened with Snatchgame, or Snatchdale, excuse me. All right, going down to the semi-limits. I'm putting Salmon Great Gazelle down to 2, primarily because I don't see them putting it to 1 right now. TCG Konami still is making a lot of money off of the sales of the Soul Burner structure deck. And because of that, I don't think they want to hurt the sales of that so much to the point where players are going to start dropping the deck. I know there's a lot of players out there saying that, hey, putting Gazelle down to 1 kills the deck outright. I'm not so certain. I mean, it's hard to go into your combo because you have to rely on other pieces to get to it, but still, there are ways to pilot a deck with this card at 1. So putting it at 2, I can see that might be a little bit better for the TCG. This way, TCG Konami can actually make their money off the continued sales of Soul Burner, and then if the deck still needs to be dealt with, they can always move it to 1 in September. All right, the other card I want to see back at 2 is going to be Dynamite Night, the True Draco Fighter. The deck really needs a second copy of this card. Just being able to search out 1 tends not to be a very good thing, because if it gets popped, then you lose the only copy you have, and you have to recycle it with Phoenix to get it back in your deck, and then you have to search it out again. Having 2 copies mitigates that, and I think it's a little bit better for the overall for True Dracos. I mean, having 2 copies of this card really isn't going to be that much of an issue, considering that we still have 4. I'm not going to be putting the trap back at 4, primarily, or at 3, primarily because that would boost the True King Dino decks a little bit too much. All right. For Umlets, I'm actually putting Stratos on the 3. There's a ton of hero support coming out. This card should be at 3. It searches out any hero monster from your deck. Let it be at 3. There's plenty of effect negation or things that can negate this card's effects, whether it be search or its back row popping. So putting this card at 3, not going to be that much of an issue. And last but not least, yeah, I'm putting Pantheism of the Monarchs at 3. In my opinion, Pantheism at 3, it needs to happen. The Monarch decks, we need consistency. We don't need bodies in the deck. It's already kind of crowded in the deck. Just having it in our type draw power as well as searcher makes this deck just a whole lot more consistent. And that's what Monarchs really need. They need consistency. They don't need bodies. That's why I'm going to keep either the Heavenly Monarch at 1. I mean, just having that card at multiples is problems in its own, because the fact that you can turn around and get multiple monsters onto the field using its effects can allow for some really stupid link plays, and I really don't want to see that version of the deck come into the TCG. I just rather have it the way it is with just more consistency to it. Alright guys, those are my choices for the July 1st, 2019 TCG Banlist. Guys, if you think I missed anything, let me know down in the comments below. Love to hear your opinions. As always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe, enable notifications, as well as YouTube notifications so you don't miss a single upload. Alright guys, check out the description box below. Find the invite link to my Discord. Guys, click on it, join the conversation. We'd love to have you. Follow me on Twitter at BystanderX79. And guys, if you really want to help me push my channel to even greater heights, consider backing me on Patreon. The link is in the description box as well. So guys, until next time, peace.